Okay, if you haven't already, read the very first paragraph on your packet just to get the general idea of how Joe, the delivery guy, has to deliver his pizzas from Pizza Pie. So based on that, you can see we've got our pizzeria right over here, and then there are 3 houses on parentheses drive. So the way it works is every time that somebody orders a pizza on parentheses drive, Joe goes out to deliver it, but while he's gone, the next house calls and orders pizza. So he has to go all the way back to the pizza place, pick up that delivery, and then go to that house. Well, then, of course, while he's delivering that pizza, somebody else calls from parentheses drive, and he has to do it all over again. So let's use arrows to draw in what his delivery path would look like, keeping in mind that he always has to go back to the pizza place. So if he starts off at the pizza place, he'll deliver to the first house, and then head back, and while he's heading back, house number 2 calls. So then he'll pick up that from the pizza place, go to house number 2, and while he's on his way back to the pizza place, then, of course, house number 3 calls, and once theirs delivered. So he'll go to house number 3, and then he's got to make his way back to the pizza place. All right, so just below that, you can see we have some actual numbers. The number of pizzas each house ordered on a particular football Sunday. And they all called back and just happened to order twice as many because they had more people coming than they expected. So I want you to fill in these blanks down here, which is at the very bottom of your paper, fill in how many pizzas each house ordered, and then if they ordered 2 times as many, you need to fill in that number too. So pause the video and fill in your numbers. All right, so your numbers should look just like mine. So house 1 ordered 3 pizzas, house 2 was 2, house 3 was 4 pizzas, and then they called back and ordered 2 times as many. So we're showing multiplication with our parentheses here. Then we want to know how many pizzas were ordered total on parentheses drive. So you could do that a couple of different ways. So take a minute and calculate if you haven't already. Pause the video and then come back. All right, so you probably did what you're used to doing, and that would be follow order of operations. So you figured 3 plus 2 plus 4 inside parentheses would give you 9. Multiply that by 2 for a total of 18 pizzas, and you would be correct. All right, so flip over to the next page, and you will see a different scenario. Same houses on parentheses drive, different day, and this time the first house ordered 2 pizzas, and the second house ordered 5 pizzas. Both called back and ordered 3 times the number of pizzas as they originally did. So fill in your numbers and then go ahead and calculate how many pizzas Joe delivered on that night to parentheses drive. All right, so again, if we follow order of operations, we add inside the parentheses and get 7, and then multiply by the 3 to get 21 pizzas. So hopefully you got a total of 21 pizzas for that night. Now, that is not the only way that you could have calculated the number of pizzas. So let's take a look. If we use Joe's delivery route, let's follow his path. So I'm going to rewrite this up here at the top. Okay, so let's use Joe's delivery route this time to figure out how many pizzas he delivered and see how it works out. So if you remember, the 3 is in place of the pizza place. The 2 is the first delivery. So we would take 3 times 2, because remember those parentheses mean to multiply. So let's write down 3 times 2. And then he's got to go back to the pizza place. And now he takes that 3 and he multiplies it by the second house's order, which was 5. So we do 3 times 5. And then you bring down this plus sign, since we're adding them all together to see what the total is, and then he heads back to the pizza place. So now, from here on out, if we do order of operations, we do multiplication from left to right, so this will be 6, this will be 15, and then you add to get 21 pizzas. And ta-da! You have the same answer. That's amazing! All right, so using that idea, it has a fancy schmancy name called the distributive property. So all that distributive property says is whatever number, if you have it set up like this, just like Joe's delivery route, if you follow his delivery route, you are distributing the number that's outside of the parentheses to every number that's inside the parentheses. So if we take A, B, and C just represent some numbers. If you multiply A times B, that gives you AB, and then you have to head back to the pizza place. Then you take A times C, and that gives you AC, and then you head back to the pizza place. Since this is addition in between here, then we make this addition in between here. So let's look a little bit more in detail just so you can see how it all works out. So I have the distributive property set up like this. This is his delivery route, the pizza place, and these are the two houses on parentheses drive. And then over here, we're going to work through it just using our multiplication. So it says work through each side of the equation using order of operations. Do you end up with the same value? So if we did order of operations over here, that would give us 26, and then bring down your 7. And then 26 times 7 would be 152, I do believe. Is that right? 140 plus, no, 182. My bad. Let's double check that. Hold on. All right, good news, I was right. Okay, so let's take this side. We do order of operations here. We have 7 times 20 gives us 140, and 7 times 6 gives us 42. 140 plus 42 will give us 182. So you can see we end up with the same exact answer if we do order of operations here and add inside the parentheses, or if we have already distributed it. So if you remember, 7 times the 20, that's this, and then 7 times 6, which is over here. So this is a big fat Y-E-S. Yes. All right, so let's move down, and of course we have to go one step further and add some variables. We got to make it algebraic. So let's take a look at the next part. The next night, the first house ordered X pizzas. The second ordered 4 pizzas, and they both called back to change their order to 3 times as many pizzas as their original order. So we're going to write an algebraic expression this time that describes that situation. We're going to do the same thing we did before. So this will be the spot for house number 1, house number 2, and then the pizza place was going to be how many times more pizzas they ordered. So the first house was X pizzas. The second house ordered 4 pizzas, and then they called back to order 3 times as many. So I'm going to put my 3 outside here. So what we're going to do with this, we can simplify it as much as possible. And all we can do to simplify is use the distributive property. So if you look inside the parentheses, the first thing you need to check is, can I combine these two values? I have an X here and a 4 here. Variable, constant. Can you add a variable and a constant together and make them into one term? And hopefully you're thinking about kitties and bears right now, and you're saying absolutely not. So we leave those the way they are. But what we can do is take this 3 and distribute it, multiply it by each of these values inside. So I'm going to take 3 times X, and that's going to give me 3X. Then he's got to go back to the pizza place, and then I take 3 times 4, and then we are going to put our plus sign in between there, and then we're just going to clean this up a little bit. 3X doesn't get any simpler than that, and then we add 3 times 4, which we can do, and get 12. So the simplified version of that expression here is 3x plus 12. So that's the total number of pizzas ordered that night was 3x plus 12. And that's as simple as that gets because you cannot put your x's with your constants. All right, so if you scroll down to the bottom section, you can see you've got a list of problems there you need to practice using your order or your distributive property. So I did the first one for you, and you can see the path, and I would suggest writing out your arrows to show the path that you took for the delivery route, and then write out each step. So write out your multiplication and then finish it up by doing the multiplication. And then ask yourself when you're done, can I combine those terms? Are they alike or are they not alike? If they're not alike, that is all you can do. So on number 1, that is your final answer. All right, you guys can go ahead and get started. And if you have questions, let me know. See ya. Good luck.